beat his ass for
can't
y'all.
do wait,
For
I don't
real.
give
I better be quiet.
I don't give a f*** y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
They got the hood over there,
like twisted up. I don't give a f*** about none of that.
GervontaDavis and Lamont Roach scheduled to have a rematch sometime this summer, maybe early fall. All indications based on the announcements that we have is that the fight is more than likely going to happen in August, right?
And Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont.
Both Lamont Roach and GervontaDavis had intense interviews with intense emotions, and the rematch has been confirmed. There was obvious tension between them as they spoke sharply to one another. Roach made it plain that he was prepared to fight back, while Davis talked with assurance. The rematch between Tank Davis and Lamont Roach has been confirmed, and supporters are excitedly awaiting a very different result from their initial bout. There has been a lot of speculation over the fight's date. Many people are hoping for an August contest, but others are worried that it would be postponed till October, which would be disappointing. The continuous guessing game would end with an announcement and confirmation.
Match in July, you would think, makes the most sense that Tank and Roach are fighting in August. Unless they talking about pushing the shit all the way back to October, which would be a fucking tragedy. So, we hoping for August, because that's the one that's probably gonna make the most sense. Hopefully we'll get an announcement soon on that so we can stop speculating. Now, with that being said, the Tank Davis Lamont Roach rematch, it will be nothing like the first fight. And I'm tired of people telling me that, oh, Tank can't do nothing different. Lamont Roach just got his number. He fought the same that he always fight. Really. History shows us that that's never the case. As a matter of fact, we got Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur just fought. I'll go to recent history.
Unlike their first encounter, the rematch between Gervonta, Tank Davis and Lamont Roach promises to be a completely different fight. The notion that Tank can't make adjustments or that Roach has his number is misguided. History has shown time and again that elite fighters evolve, and Tank, widely regarded as one of boxing's top pound-for-pound talents, is no exception. He'll enter this rematch better prepared, equipped with new strategies and motivated. To silence doubters, Roach is a skilled and intelligent fighter who deserves credit for his performance in the first bout. However, the fight game is fluid, and outcomes can shift in an instant. Anyone expecting a repeat performance from Roach underestimates the adaptability and determination of a fighter like Davis. With both men at the top of their game, this rematch is shaping up to be an explosive and high-stakes battle. Adding further perspective, Lamont Peterson recently weighed in on Tank's punching power. While acknowledging that Davis hits hard, Peterson stated that Tank wasn't the hardest puncher he faced in his career. That distinction, according to him, belongs to Jonathan Owendo, whose punches carried a level of intensity unlike anything else Peterson had experienced. He noted that while Tank's shots are impactful and dangerous, Owendo's power stood out for its sheer force and physical toll. Peterson's insight adds depth to the conversation around punching power in boxing. It highlights the unique strengths different fighters bring to the ring and reminds fans that even fighters known for knockouts can be outshined in raw power by less well-known names.
He fight how he always fight. He looked how he always looked in every single fight. Sadly mistaken. This idea that, oh, Lamont Roach he just got Tank number. He gonna fight like that again in the second fight. He could do this, he could do that, bro. Y'all are sadly mistaken if you think the second fight is gonna play out anything like the first fight, bro. Anything, it's not gonna go that way. Specifically when you fighting at the high level, bro. The highs are high levels. When you got a pound-for-pound talent in there like Tank Davis, a really great talented fighter that's skilled, that got everything that you could have, and you got somebody like Lamont Roach who's a very good fighter himself, shit ain't gonna go down like that because the fight game, bro.
Stevenson recently called out Lamont Peterson for a rematch, expressing strong confidence in his ability to win. Drawing from their previous sparring sessions, Shakur believes he has a clear understanding of Lamont's style, which gives him a strategic edge. He's convinced that the knowledge gained during those sessions will allow him to outbox Lamont and secure a convincing victory. While acknowledging Peterson's experience and skill, Shakur remains confident that he can exploit the weaknesses he observed in their past encounters. He sees this rematch as a chance to prove how much he's grown as a fighter and to demonstrate the full extent of his abilities in the ring. Shakur's call-out isn't just about settling a score, it's about showcasing his evolution and readiness to take on high-level opposition. With sharp ring IQ and improved skill, he believes he now has the tools to overcome Peterson and emerge victorious in a second showdown.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout.
Shakur. Stevenson's recent remarks highlight his determination and readiness to take on the challenge of facing Lamont Peterson in a rematch. Confident in his abilities, Shakur believes his previous sparring experience with Lamont gave him valuable insight into his opponent's style. That familiarity, he says, gives him a clear advantage, one he plans to use to outbox Lamont and prove he belongs among boxing's elite. His call for a rematch has stirred excitement among fans, eager to see if Shakur can back up his words and deliver on his promise. Meanwhile, Lamont Roach has seen a significant rise in status after his surprising draw with Gervonta Tank Davis, a result no one had achieved before. Before that fight, Roach wasn't widely recognized, but the draw catapulted him into the spotlight and earned him newfound respect from fans and analysts alike. It proved that he could hang with the very best, and it reshaped how he's viewed. In the boxing world, for Tank Davis, the stakes are now higher. He knows Roach is a legitimate threat and will come into the rematch fully focused and prepared. The first fight was a wake-up call, and Tank is determined not to let history repeat itself. He's out to show that he's made the necessary adjustments and is ready to reclaim his dominance in the ring. Lamont Roach has confirmed that the rematch with Tank is officially on. Reflecting on their first bout, Roach believes he was robbed of a fair decision and is determined to set the record straight. He's coming into this fight more focused and driven than ever, aiming to prove that not only does he belong, but that he's capable of defeating Tank outright.
No, might be there a little longer.
Well, what we did see, is it going to be a rematch, or are y'all still working on it, or what's the plan?
It's going to be a rematch.
But it's not
9 times out of 10,
sealed to delivery.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm signed the seal.
Okay.
So we waiting on the other half. That's all.
Okay, cool.
I like when people say that my part is done.
Yeah, I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
Lamont Roach has entered training camp with laser focus, determined to correct the mistakes he made in his first encounter with Gervonta Tank Davis. His preparation is centered on refining his technique and developing a more strategic approach to ensure a stronger performance in the rematch. Although Roach has moved Up in weight for this bout, he remains confident in his ability to withstand Davis's renowned knockout power. He spent time closely studying Tank's weaknesses and is preparing to exploit them in the ring. Rather than being intimidated by Davis's reputation, Roach views this rematch as a chance to display his growth and maturity as a fighter. With renewed confidence and a focused mindset, he believes he has the tools and experience to pull off the upset and earn the victory he feels was taken from him in their first bout. The buzz surrounding the rematch continues to grow, as fans wonder whether Roach can truly flip the script this time around. In their first fight, Roach exposed a critical flaw in Davis's career strategy. For years, Tank had been criticized for carefully selecting opponents who played to his strengths, often sidestepping more dangerous matchups. This approach helped maintain his undefeated record, but Roach disrupted that narrative. Entering the ring as a disciplined and well-prepared fighter, Roach refused to be intimidated or manipulated by Tank's usual tactics. His calculated game plan forced Davis out of his comfort zone and revealed vulnerabilities in his approach. Roach's performance proved that even a top-tier fighter like Davis can be pushed to the limit when faced with a smart, resilient, and fearless opponent. The rematch will be Tank's chance to respond, and Roach's opportunity to finish what he started.
That fight with Tank and Lamont Roach shows y'all how protected Tank has been for the past several years. And the people saying, oh, Tank know Lamont and he been respected Lamont because they fought in the amateurs. Man, he was cherry picking Lamont, and really thought he was going to get that win. But Lamont wasn't coming to play around. He stood his ground and fought back. And to be honest, he won the fight. The rematch is going to be a knockout.
Jiren Andis recently shared his thoughts on the public reaction to Gervonta "Tank" Davis's performance, emphasizing how public perception can heavily influence opinions about a fight. He noted that while many fans were quick to criticize Tank, they often overlooked his strong showing in the early rounds. According to Andis, Tank's boxing in the opening stages was impressive. His movement and skill frustrated his opponent and demonstrated his high-level ring IQ. As the fight wore on, Tank encountered more resistance, and that's where much of the criticism began. Andis believes the negativity surrounding Tank's performance is often rooted in personal bias rather than an objective evaluation.
I gotta ask you about fights. GervontaDavis, draw with Lamont Roach. People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw. But I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. He was boxing and frustrating him a little bit. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. He looked sharp to me. I don't know. People just be talking. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Many fans expected a knockout, and when that didn't happen, especially against someone like Lamont Peterson, who doesn't carry the same star power as some elite names, they became overly critical. Andis argued that this expectation for dominance skewed how fans assessed the fight. Despite the mixed reactions, Andis gave credit to both fighters, acknowledging the competitive nature of the bout. He personally scored the fight 75-75, a draw, saying that while Lamont performed admirably, he didn't do enough to clearly win the fight. His comments underscore the nuanced nature of boxing analysis, where performances can be judged harshly due to preconceived expectations rather than what actually happens in the ring. Andis's perspective serves as a reminder that fan perception is not always aligned with reality, and that understanding a fight requires a balanced view of both skill and context. The discussion around Tank's performance highlights how biases can often cloud true evaluation in the world of
Yeah, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, first thing we got to ask you what you think about this fight, champ.
I think it's a great fight. Two great guys. I think Roach is a great, formidable opponent. Tomorrow, Tank gonna test his tank and see how good he is in the late round.
Presumably, Tank is supposed to, win this fight. This is a fight that there's not a lot of doubt about him coming out victorious in. So the talk shifts, and we got to know, Roy, from your perspective, Tank Shakur, when you think about that fight being a potential fight this year, how do you see it going?
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like this. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You got to understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not going to talk about none of that till we get by Roach, because what I'm telling you about the other stuff don't really mean nothing right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this did happen.
I'm feeling good always. How you doing?
I'm always good. You're a special fighter. Tank's a special fighter. What do you like about him? What makes him different?
I like that when Tank come to fight, Tank come to knock you out. Tank don't come to just beat you by decision. He come to take you out. He come to try to get the job done best way he can. And he loves to come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. And that's what I like.